Hey, what's up guys, Puma here. We're going to be talking about knowing your maps in this tips and tricks video. This is a kill confirmed on Metro playing Blacklight Retribution. The first thing we're going to talk about is objectives. You're going to want to know where people come from to go to those objectives. You're going to want to know the quickest way for you to get to that objective. And you're going to want to know where your enemies are going to be when you get to that objective. Where they're going to be camping, where they're going to be running in from. You know, if there's like a wide open door straight from your enemy spawn, that's probably the quickest way people are going to come, and that's the way you can get easy kills from if you just watch that entrance point to that objective. And also you're going to know the lanes people take to get to that objective, because if you can flank them and beat them to that objective, you're going to get a lot more kills that way. And your objectives are typically marked out by an objective marker, which is going to be a different color than anything else on your minimap, or in Blacklight Retribution's case on your HRV. That's very, very important, because that's how you know where the objective is and how to get to that objective fast and how to get to that objective before your opponent does. The next thing we're going to talk about is spawn points. If you can predict spawn points, you're going to die a lot less and get a lot more kills. If you're just completely oblivious to the spawns, then your enemies are just going to be spawning all around you and killing you every which way, and that's not going to be any fun for you, because nobody wants to die from an enemy that just spawned and just got their iron sights on you and killed you real fast, because that's no fun for you. So know where they're going to be coming from when they're spawned. And yeah, if you can predict where they spawn and when they're going to spawn, you can just go in there and get yourself a couple free kills, So you're going to want to know all your spawn points. That goes for any game. You're going to want to know camping spots. This isn't really a problem in Blacklight Retribution because we have the HRV and nobody really camps in this game. Here's also an example of me taking advantage of that spawn point thing. I just got a couple free kills on that spawn right there. So that's good. But I got killed, so that probably wasn't smart of me. But also you're going to want to know camping spots. Like in Nuketown, everybody always camps in those two houses. That's not very fun. People typically like to stay in one area in Halo Deck, and those little boxes in that one room where the depot is, and just peek over and snipe you, or get those long range kills, because that one little depot that looks over the spawns. In that one room that has like the screen and by the gate, that looks over both of the spawns. That's the place where people like to camp. I don't really say camp, but they play really defensively in that area. But I guess that also counts with camping spots. But yeah, if you know how to where people are going to be camping, you just not rush in there. You can peek the corners instead and get yourself a couple free kills right there. So yeah, you're also going to really want to know those camping spots. It's also really important. Next thing up is your lanes. Call of Duty utilizes a 3-lane map design. If you don't know what lanes are, I'll just give you an example. Everybody knows Nuketown. So if you just spawn in Nuketown, you can go left and that'll cut right through the backyard of the other house. You can go right and that'll also cut right through the backyard of the other house. Or you can take the center lane, going through the first house, through the truck, and into the backyard of the second house, through that second house. If you catch what I'm saying. Your middle lane, left lane, and right lane. Those are your 3 lanes in Call of Duty. And most FPS games utilize lanes, unless they're more open maps, such as the ones that Battlefield has, such as the one Call of Duty Ghost has. Those maps don't have lanes, and you just have to figure out where enemies are going to be a different way there, spots where they typically go to, process the patterns of those maps and just learn that differently. But in maps where they have lanes, that's where people are going to go through, and you can just hold those lanes down and get you a couple free kills, right? Everybody's going to be running in through those lanes because they have nowhere else to go for the most part. And if you can also flank those lanes and get around them, and you can get yourself a couple free kills that way. So you're going to want to really know lanes. That's also important when you're playing objectives, because people will take those lanes to get to the objective. And if you can guard those lanes off and make sure that objective is protected and know where everybody's going to be coming from to get to that objective from those lanes, you can just cut them off and beat them there. Also, you can just keep them from getting to that objective by predicting where they're going to come from through those lanes. You get what I'm saying? Next thing we're going to talk about is, I don't really know how to word it, but it's going to be clutch spots. Your kill zone spots. Spots where everybody goes through. In Halo Deck, it's where those 2 hallways connect. That's where everybody's going to be rushing from. It's where you can hide behind the walls and get yourself free kills that way. Also, in that little room I was talking about previously in Halo Deck, that has screen doors and a depot that overlooks both spawns. Everybody likes to sit in there, and that's also a clutch spot. I can't really think of any off the top of my head about Call of Duty. If you know them, just let everybody else know in the comments, but I can't really think of any. Clutch spots are very important, because if you can flank those, you're going to get yourself a lot of kills. Typically in objective type game modes, your objectives are going to be those clutch spots, especially in capture the flag. Everybody's going to be going toward those flags for the most part. And if you can flank those objectives, you're going to get yourself a lot of kills. If you can get around those clutch spots and just get yourself some free kills like that, it's going to be great for you. Mentality I like to have there is more of a defensive mentality. I've heard Nuclear Sharkhead talk about his boxer mentality before, and this is very similar to that. You go in, play it very safe. Throw a couple shots out, see how many people you can get, and then if you're at any risk, you just bail out. Get your health regenning. Wait for your health to regen, or get to a depot and regen that health. Buy a health refill, and then come right back in, kill another person or two, and just don't die. You want to give a lot of hits without taking any hits, and just play it very smart. Come in, kill a person or two, get right back out, get your health up, come right back in, 1 or 2 kills, and come right back up. You don't want to attack everybody head on, see how many people you can kill. Just go straight up commando and run in there, kill how many people you can, and then die. It's not very fun. It's gonna mess up your kill death ratio. And in team deathmatch, a lot of games like that, or especially team deathmatch, in game modes like team deathmatch, your deaths matter a lot more than your kills, honestly. Because if you have 20 kills, but you have 30 deaths, you're still a 10-point deficit, even though you have 20 kills, and that's it's hurting your team more than it's helping it. So what's more important is you die less. You don't want to be a deficit to your team. You don't want to make your team carry you. That's not good. Because even if you do have the most kills in the team, if you have more deaths and you're just a deficit to your team, that's not very good. You want the least amount of deaths possible. That's the most important priority. You want to get to that objective without just getting on it, taking it, getting shot, and then losing it. You want to make sure you can keep that objective by knowing, that it's a clutch spot, and you're going to want to get people off of that spot. That's why it's most important to know the clutch spots, which are typically the objectives, in objective-type gameplay, in game modes. In non-objective-type game modes like TDM and Deathmatch, that's just where you can get the most kills by flanking in there and just, getting you the kills. And that'll help you win that, too. So, yeah, knowing your map is very, very important to winning, the game. Or the round, or whatever. So you're going to want to really know that map. All those maps. Not just 1 or 2 maps that are your favorites that you like to play, but all the maps. That'll make you a better, well-rounded player, and that'll help your team a lot. Or yourself if you're playing Deathmatch. But yeah, just know those maps, know where people are going to come from, know where they're going to camp, know where they spawn, know all the lanes and all those clutch spots I was talking about earlier. So yeah, know your maps. That's going to help you get a lot more kills, die a lot less, which is exactly what you want. It's going to help you get to the objectives faster and make sure you own those objectives, not just get them and die and then lose them. And yeah, know your maps.
Mission objective completion imminent.